Hi guys, good afternoon. I am here with, my YouTube seems to be working now, so I'm here with you guys a story from my Dreams and Miracles book by Anne Spengler. True stories. Let's see what today's story is. We're pretty far in the book. We're more than halfway done with it. Then I don't know what we're going to read after we get done with this one. Let me turn the laptop around here a little bit. This one is by Alisa Blair, and it's called Table for Two. And as always, I'll start off by reading you guys the introduction. Alisa's daughter Kelly suffered from a malignant brain tumor. "Mommy," she said one summer morning, "I had the best dream. I feel so close to God." Here is the story of how her dream brought comfort and hope. Now we're going to get into Alisa's story. My 6-year-old daughter Kelly and I were walking hand in hand down the street on our way to get milk from a nearby convenience store. When she finally asked the question, I had anticipated it. I knew it had to come sooner or later, and I hoped I was ready for it. "Mommy, could I die from this?" she asked, her clear, sweet voice wrenching my heart on that warm July afternoon in 1992. 3 weeks before, Kelly had been operated on to remove a malignant brain tumor. She was about to begin months of radiation and chemotherapy. Our family of 5 floundered for moorings in the sea of physical and emotional turbulence. Lauren and Leslie, 14 and 11, tried hard to balance the desperation they sensed in my husband Rob and me by making it their mission to try to buoy the spirits of their younger sister. They sang songs and played games with her, distracting her from crankiness during painful procedures. Knowing Kelly sorely missed Tucker, our 1-year-old Shelly, they brushed the pup until they had collected enough fur to bring to the hospital for her to hold lovingly against her chest. But in spite of the cheerful caring from them and many others, I knew it was inevitable that someday Kelly would connect the word cancer with death. "Some people die of cancer, but many do not," I began carefully, grateful to be walking beside her and not having to be face to face, where she surely would see my tears and ask again, as she had done countless times in her hospital room, "Mommy, are you crying?" I couldn't bear the concern my tears caused her. "They removed all your tumor, and you'll be getting treatment," I said. "That means you'll have a good chance of living a long, long life." "I'm not afraid of dying, because I know I'll be with Jesus," she said. "I'm just afraid of how I might die." I wanted to shelter her with great wings, like a mother bird over her young, but instead I now had to help Kelly trust her own wings. "I don't think dying hurts too much," I said, "because the nurses and doctors can give you medicine to help you. We would be right there holding you, and it would be just like we passed you." Into the arms of Jesus. She continued, her voice more fervent than before. "I don't want to be the first in our family to die." Her words stung, and I struggled to sound matter-of-fact. Any one of us could die first. Anyway, for the person who's in heaven, it probably only seems like seconds. till she's with her family again. After 6 weeks of intense radiation, we began to adapt to the new routine of hospitalizations, chemotherapy, blood counts, transfusions, and MRIs at the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. One bitterly cold day in January 1993, we drove out to the hospital parking lot. Kelly had curled under a blanket, pulled up to her nose, her voice muffled inside her woolen cocoon. "You didn't forget, did you, that I want to be baptized?" That had been her persistent question as we went through several church changes in recent years, and more recently after her diagnosis. "Did you ask Pastor Tom if I could be, baptized like you were?" "You mean immersed?" "Yeah, immersed. Pastor Tom Fries set the date for April 4th, Palm Sunday. We held a private service that was attended by only family and a few close friends. Kelly chose a brand new white hat to wear for the occasion. As we tucked her into bed that night, we complimented her on her poise and reverent attitude toward the sacrament. Not many people take this as seriously as you did today." Rob told her, "God must be really pleased." One morning in late June, as I settled down to a cup of tea at the kitchen table, hoping for a quiet hour before the girls woke, I heard the top step creak. "Mommy," came Kelly's voice as she rounded the bottom of the stairway. I turned surprised to see her out of bed, her beloved worn teddy bear dangling from her hand. "What are you doing up so early?" "I had the best dream," she said. Touching my arm to make sure she had my full attention, "I dreamed I was with Jesus." "How did you know it was Jesus?" I asked, intrigued. "I just knew," she responded. "We were eating together." "Where?" I asked. She paused, then said the great tenderness, "At a table for two." Table for two? Has she ever heard that term before? "What were you eating?" "I don't remember any food, but I know we were eating." She said other people were dining nearby, but her table was bathed in light. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "I feel so close to God." Kelly's dream comforted me and gave me hope, but not I would soon be discovered for the reasons I had thought. In mid-August, on the day of yet another routine MRI, 2 weeks after Kelly's 8th birthday, the phone rang. "Mrs. Blair, this is Dr. Molly. You might want to sit down." The cancer had recurred. Kelly did not have much time left. On a crisp September evening 5 weeks later, Pastor Tom looked out over a sanctuary brimming with family and friends who had gathered for Kelly's memorial service. Sobered by the grief around them, Kelly's young classmates sat quietly with their parents. "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies," Pastor Tom read from Psalm 23. Kelly's enemy was cancer, and she saw in a dream the table. God had prepared for her. During the service, Lauren and Leslie reenacted Kelly's dream. which she had described to us in more detail. They draped a purple tablecloth over a small table, flanked by 2 chairs, and set it with 2 white dinner plates and a single lit candle. Months later, Rob took a day off so we could sort through Kelly's things. Slowly, painfully, we emptied her shelves and bureau, drawers, and packed books and toys and clothing and boxes, some to give away, some to keep. We remember pausing for tears when we needed to. Finally, the floor vacuumed and the room stripped of its comfortable clutter. I looked at the red crayon scribbles I had once scolded Kelly for making on the white lampshade on her bedside table. The bedside table, Rob, I said, sighing. We forgot to empty this. I opened the drawer, which was crammed full of small toys, tablets, markers, and trinkets. I sorted through them, then lifted out what lay at the bottom, a notebook. I opened it, hoping to see a drawing, spelling words, anything. Inside was a surprise. Kelly had kept several journals throughout her illness, but here was one we hadn't seen, empty except for 2 entries dated shortly after she had had her dream. It was as if we were reading a letter from her in her new residence. Here, using her exact words and spelling, is what she wrote. Dear Jesus, I really felt much closer to you these past years, and I still do. I have felt your presence more. I thank you for this time of cancer through the past year and a half. It has given me a time to get even closer to you. I am so excited to come to your kingdom someday. I don't know anything about what heaven looks like. I know it's going to be the best place I have ever been. It feels so good to know that I'm in your arms, safe and sound. I couldn't have gotten through last year without you, Jesus. This year, I really feel like one of God's missionaries. I feel a message to tell people about God. It's a very, very, very neat and special feeling. Rob and I held each other and wept. Kelly had found the secret of rejoicing in her suffering. Her voice seemed to say, "You can too, Mommy and Daddy." Reading her words, I was filled with an immense longing to know more fully the beauty of the holiness she saw and tasted. It had caused her to bask in the joy, intimacy of friendship with God. It had made her want to reach out with the good news of redemptive hope. I thought of the note we received from a young girl at the memorial service. "Dear Kelly," it read in childish scrawl, "enjoy your supper with God." Supper with God, I thought, taking the chair Jesus seemed to be holding out for me. My own table for 2. And that was Alisa Blair's story, Table for 2. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless.